It is time for our Towne BMW keys to the game. It's the Bulls and the Army Black Knights. My name is Paul Peck, joined by Bulls head coach Lance Leipold. Well, not to oversimplify it, Lance, but keys to the game for today are pretty much stop the run.
Yeah, stop the run would be the main key to this game. And with that, I think, Paul, it starts with stopping the fullback. You got to be able to slow the fullback down in a triple option. Otherwise, you're in for a long day. Then after that, we have to move on to the quarterback. And not just stopping the run, tackling well.
It is Bulls head coach Lance Leipold here as we get you ready for kickoff between the Bulls and the Army Black Knights. It all starts with a quarterback in an offense like this, and Ahmad Bradshaw is the quarterback that played against you last year, coming off a 177-yard rushing performance in their opener against Fordham. He's the magician with the football in a lot of ways. How good is he at doing that?
He's excellent at it. He's got command of the offense. You could start seeing that last year, and now where they've taken their program to the last half of last year, beating Navy, winning a bowl game, getting off to a great start the season. You can see a team, and it starts with their quarterback playing with a lot of confidence.
Let's go back to last year, a big win for your team in overtime, 23-20. But beyond that, the ability of your defense to have a sense of what they're going to see. And I remember last year you talked an awful lot about you can't replicate the speed of that triple option. Well, now you guys kind of know a little bit about the speed. How much does that help?
It helps a lot. It's still, there's that feeling out process of every game in the first quarter, and hopefully you can kind of hold serve the best you can, because offensively you get minimum amount of possessions in games like this. So speed early in the game and getting acclimated to what's really happening with the actual team that's running, it's going to be very important.
These are your Towne BMW keys to the game as I'm joined by Bulls head coach Lance Leipold. I joked with middle linebacker Khalil Hodge earlier in the week that there will probably be times as the fans watch and listen to this game that he'll actually be tackling the quarterback or the fullback even though they won't have the football, and that's actually part of the plan, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You better make sure you tackle anyone who's probably potentially going to carry the ball, but that's going to happen, and a team that does it well, those things are there. But as long as we're assignment sound, if you've got the fullback and you have the dive, you better make sure you tackle the dive.
Getting you ready for kickoff between the Bulls and the Army Black Knights with Bulls head coach Lance Leipold. Well, let's talk a little bit about your offense, because as that game went on last year and Tyree Jackson was in that game and played very well, your offensive guys started to make more plays against Army, and sometimes when you have a little more athletic players, they can make plays against the disciplined defensive Army. Is that a little bit of the game plan when you go into a game like this?
Well, I think so. I think anytime we have a chance in these games, we look for matchups. We do each and every week, and where we might be able to win some of those matchups. So that's going to be important. I think, Paul, though, just much for them, I think every week we'll talk as well that we still have to go back to establishing a running game, and we have to be able to get something going that allows some of those matchups maybe that you're alluding to on the outside to take place.
We saw in the Minnesota game that Minnesota started playing man-to-man defense, particularly against Anthony Johnson. When he lit them up for some of those big plays, they shifted to a zone. So how do you as a coaching staff sort of react to what you think Army may try to do?
Well, I think they'll try to mix and match a few things, and as they always have done. What we have to do, and in many of our routes have conversions, and our receivers and quarterbacks have to be on the same page of what that route is versus certain coverages, whether it be zone or man, and again, making sure that we execute it when that happens.
These are the Towne BMW keys to the game. It's the Bulls and the Army Black Knights, and as we wrap things up here with Bulls head coach Lance Leipold, this is one of the most historic stadiums in all of college football, and it's your first chance to go. So I know you're focused on the game and on the game plan, but is there part of you that at least will take a few seconds to reflect on the fact that you're on rather hallowed college football ground?
Yeah, I think so. I think as the older I've gotten here and try to take a step back and embrace some of the places that we get to travel to and what we get to see and what it's all about, and try to make sure our players see that and respect it. But then we also have a job and a responsibility to do, and you got to be able to flip the switch quickly and get back to it.
All right, that's Bulls head coach Lance Leipold. Good luck today, Coach, against the Army Black Knights.
Thank you very much.
Those are the Towne BMW keys to the game. Much more to get you ready for kickoff between the Bulls and Army coming up on the UB Football pregame show from Learfield.